Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Monday, May 15th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Beauty of Horror Tarot cards. You guys know I film ahead of time, so it is Sunday, so Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. Happy Mother's Day to all that are celebrating. We have the Chariot, and I feel like this is with determination and dedication we will be the victor wearing the wreath. I know we have Gemini season, and I feel like this is like with zodiac sign Cancer. It's like hard work, and I feel like that's where like they were saying that last week. You need to shift your energy. With the King of Pentacles, shift your energy onto like determination and dedication, the things that you want to make happen in your life, moving forward. He's in a vehicle. We drive forward in a vehicle, right? We're gonna have to make a decision here. I feel like with myself, it's like a decision to be happy. I am an emotional creature, and I feel like this is where temperance comes in. It's like you have to be in control of your emotions in this. It's like you can live in this energy of celebration. Notice like it's above their head. You know what I mean? Like thinking with your higher self here, we do have the High Priestess present as an extra card. And it's just like we could live and choose to live in those high moments in life, or we could choose to be in a negative situation. I feel like this is where the Ten of Pentacles is like, he's holding his head here, and it's like, do I live in this depression, this isolation, or do I choose to move forward? We can't choose the people, places, and things that we were born into in this life, but we have a choice on how we move forward and in the situations we make and the choices that we make. Come to a fork in the road. I've been told like the biggest regret they have in life was having me. It's hurtful. But at the same time, it's like I can't help but feel this compelling like draw to this person, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like I cut them out of my life and everything, and it's just like still it's just like when I'm around these people, it brings me great comfort. You know what I mean? Like I go to my sister's house, and it's just like, having a barbecue, having a fire, see the kids with each other and having a great time and laughing their heads off, watching movies together as a family. You know what I mean? Like that's the time we live for. You know what I mean? It's just makes your heart swoon. You know what I mean? It just so happens to be like Mother's Day weekend. It's just, like I was sitting there and I was like, it didn't even dawn on me. Like it was like, it like I knew it was Mother's Day. You know what I mean? But it's just like I don't have any emphasis on it. Like my kids are like, "Oh, what do you want for Mother's Day?" And I'm like, "You already did it. You were there for your grandmother when she needed you, and I couldn't be prouder. Like you sat there and you comforted her, and you were there for her, and whatever way you could capacity you could help her out, you did. Like that is the biggest honor as a parent to see your child in their young age. They're not even they're 12 and 14. 15, going to be 15 and 13 soon. But it's just like to see like that you are helping mold and shape and nurture them into being these beautiful beings, and to see them actually in action do it. It's just like who could ask for anything else? You know what I mean? I feel like temperance is controlling our emotions again with the crown chakra. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know why I feel this anxiety, but it's just like, well, I guess because it's just like, going this back and forth. It's like, well, this, like, you are the biggest mistake of their life. And, I've heard that my whole life. And it's just like, okay, I can live in that energy. Or, you know what? I accept this is who they are. This is how it's always going to be. I made this, it was a hard acceptance, but it's just like, I can't help the way that I feel, like, where it's just like, I feel comfort with this person. I feel, you know what I mean? I feel drawn. I feel connected. You know what I mean? So it's just like, give myself peace of mind to live happily in those moments. You know what I mean? I thank them for, a great weekend. You know what I mean? Be with the kids. Like, honest to God, like Friday we went grocery shopping. Like I was saying, completely forgot it was Mother's Day weekend, but it was just like, well, I can't, buy hanging plants and stuff like this because, my mom's moving situation. You guys have been following me. So you knew for like, 9 weeks, everything was chaotic. And it just so happened to fall in place. Like we sat there, she had to get some things done, so she asked for some help with some things. And it was just like, can I run into Walmart quickly? And I was like, ooh, I can run into the garden center. Like it just dawned on me, and I was like, ooh, maybe they'll have the plants out. Like I wasn't, they didn't have it open last time we were there, So I was just like, ooh, I could pop in and take a look, you know? So I grabbed a hanging plant, and I'm watching my money, so I'm like, don't go crazy, you know, just buy a little bit, you know. So I bought, you know, when you get the 6 pack of flowers, they're like $2.40 a pack. So I was like, okay, grab 3 of those, like, be very sensible, you know what I mean? But like, what a great thing, like, for me, that's like the best. I love plants, you know what I mean? Like, you know, my house is full of cactuses because I cannot kill them. Well, I don't know about that. I've killed 2 so far, so we'll see. But it's just like that kind of thing makes my heart swoon. You know what I mean? Um, I was able to get my favorite breakfast. It didn't even dawn on me till today. It's like, you had your favorite breakfast too. It's like, oh, frig, great, you know? And then it was just like, we went to my favorite place, the beach. It's just like one thing after another. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like the universe saw, it's like, oh, I can't go to the garden center. And you know what I mean? Like, me and the kids always looked to the house that we shared with Shane before he passed. It was perfect. You know what I mean? It was just like, God has always blessed us in that way. Like, we, you know, we worked hard, and we got to the apartment, and it was like, you know, only 15 minutes away from his job. And you know what I mean? I was just like, there's the post office there, because I was, you know, I buy and sell stuff. The walking clinic was like, you know, like not half a block away from us. You know what I mean? It was just, everything just fell into place. We had a great park across the street from us, and I was able to go shopping and stuff like that. It just like everything just worked out in that way. It's just like, yeah, we like, you know, in the beginning it was just like, it was hard, but it's just like we were able to sit there and shift things. God was able to shift things for us because he saw our determination, you know. We were determined to be successful. We were determined. It wasn't even being so much successful. We were determined to be providers for our family. We were determined to allow our kids to grow up a certain way. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what was our biggest driving force. As a family, we were going to do this, you know? That's why I feel like with the magician, we have the combination of elements. And I feel like it's like, never overlook things like that. And I feel like the universe is just like, kind of like, you know, you sat there and, you know, it wasn't even about Mother's Day weekend. I was just like, oh, you know, I can't buy the plants like I usually do because, you know, I'm very mindful of where she lives, and I don't want her driving all the way here and then driving all the way back. Like, it just, you know what I mean? It's like the most economic way that works for her. I try to be very mindful of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because, you know, at the end of the day, she is still doing me a favor by picking up our grocery order before work. So, you know, it's just like, that's why I just messaged her tonight. I'm like, thank you for such a great weekend. You know what I mean? Going to the beach and, you know, and having the dogs run around and, you know, be with the kids. And this is why I love this time of year. Like, even me and my friend Zane were talking about this. It's just like, you know, he was like, I spent the whole day out in the garden, and he's like, I was barefoot and all this stuff. And I was like, that's amazing. I'm like, we're both the same. We both thrive outside, you know? So it's just like, I was really happy for him that he was able to have that time and energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're able to have your day off, you know, that time out, you know, that's why I try to do my shopping not on my days off, because it's like, at least you get filled with the things that make you happy. And it's like, that's what life is about. You know what I mean? It's like, live for those moments, be grateful for those moments, you know, because like we went through 8 weeks of hell. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, they were like, I came across, I don't even know how, even today, it was just, you know, they were telling us like you know, you know, about Archangel Michael, and they were saying what the name Michael means. You know what I mean? And it just made my heart swoon. I don't know. It's just, everything was just beautiful. You know what I mean? And it's like, live in those moments, because it always wasn't this, you know? It was just like, you know, there was a time where it was just like, I couldn't even think a little bit ahead in life. Like, even to the next hour, my life was just spinning after Shane passed away. And it's just like, you know, life is getting sweeter with these sweet moments where it's just like, you know, like, I literally, you know, saw a card I posted for Instagram, and literally this post came up, and it's just like, you know, be grateful for these moments. Be grateful. Like, they're basically looking in a mirror, and it's like concentrating on the negative, and then they have the back of their mind open, where it's just like thinking to your higher self. And I was just like, love like the crown chakra energy of that. And it's just like, be grateful for those moments where how blessed you are. And I'm like, what a freaking blessed weekend. You know what I mean? I had no idea what was going to happen this weekend. You know, to me, my kids showing up for their grandmother for the past 8, 9, 10 weeks, you know what I mean, was just like that for me was a blessing. But it's like every single thing that I love happened this weekend. Spending time with my kids, like, you know what I mean? Like that is, the most thing important to me is on my days off being with my kids, spending time with them, nurturing them, doing like I was sitting there and I was just like, you know, can't remember what I was gonna do, but my son's like, do you want to play poker with me? And I'm like, I was like, no, I want to lay down and nap. I would think it was like day of work or something like that. I can't remember, but I was like, okay, for like, half an hour, 20 minutes, and we were laughing and joking and all that good stuff. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like I could have said no, we didn't play, but I was just like, I hadn't played poker in a minute. But that's what I mean. It's like, making more time for those moments, because it's just like after Shane passed, like I definitely felt like a zombie. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't high or anything like that, but it's just like that widow fog. And can't think straight, and you're so destroyed and broken, and it's just like making that choice to live again, making that choice to, feel everything that you feel. So the reason I did it the way I did, and it may not be for everybody, it's just like because I wanted to feel everything, so I wouldn't have to live through it the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like I knew I loved him till his last breath. We all did. You know what I mean? I knew that I took care of him and nurtured and cared for him and did everything that I could to make his life as stress free as possible. You know what I mean? So it's just like, coming out the other side of things, it's like you see things differently and you live life differently. I've always appreciated life, but it's just like, like even just being mindful of that. Like even when I was making the video earlier, I don't know if you follow my account or not, and thank you for all the new subscribers. That's truly a blessing. Thank you. Like I truly do mean that. You know, where it's just like the fact that it's just like I remember saying that. I was just like, oh, I won't be able to buy. I don't know if I'm about buying flowers this year. I wasn't even knowing if I was going to do a garden this year. I like even going. I couldn't find zucchini seeds anywhere, and went to Walmart. And I had really looked. I was really looking for them, and I found them. So it's just like, you know what I mean. Like just because things look like, it's like you never know. You know what I mean? How things could quickly change. And it's been like that for a while, you know what I mean? Like after Shane passed, it's just like, how everybody came together and supported our family, and I can never thank them enough again for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like so many people were kicking us down and shaking us down, like picking the bones and everything. It's just I'm so incredibly grateful that, Yahweh and Yeshua took care of us. The hardest time of my life, and it continues to take care of us. All that they have, all that they will, and all that will be. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, whomever you believe in, you know what I mean? But just be mindful of those moments. We were at the beach and we saw the falcons, sitting there and hunting in the water. Their dinner time, so she could go back and sit on the eggs again. We always, walk at the track. We try to walk at the beach now because the dogs can come with us, because at the track they don't allow them, which makes sense. The kids go there and play soccer. No one wants to be running into dog poo poo. I pick up the mess, but, not everybody does. But, you know what I mean? It's just beautiful. We saw a beautiful gray heron, and we were able to observe him without him flying away. I've been trying to get pictures of them, and I realized I didn't even notice that their bill was orange, because they always flew off on us. But it's like that's their feeding time. It was so beautiful. Low tide, so you could see a lot more things, but, it's just beautiful. It's just, sitting there and just able to take a step back and just enjoy the beauty of the world, because we're always like looking on our phones and distracted with this and that. But I feel like if you're able to, your days off, that's what really grounds you. We're retrograde literally ends on Sunday. You know what I mean? So this may reach you on Sunday, depending where you are, because I've been filming since I think 12:30 tonight. But it's just like, recognize those blessings in your life. I know people will sit there and try to trivialize it, but, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know what? Just whatever you believe in and resonates with you, the way you want to see it, you see it. You know what I mean? Oh, because you worked hard, because you did. Yeah, but you know what? They gave me the courage to do it. They gave me the strength to do it, because I definitely was autopilot there for a while. That's why I'm like, when I talk about the kids and I want to spend so much time with them, because it's like I felt like I was robbed for so many years. I was just in, like, bawling all the time, and trying to put myself back together. Like, I was babysitting and doing cards and this and that, but it's just like, you know what I mean? We did things and stuff, but I really did not feel like I was participating in life for a long time, you know? And I'm just like grateful that I'm able to enjoy it again, And I feel like moving here was like, I've always been in love with the water and the beach, and that's where I always would go walking to, and watching the sunrises and the sunset. That was my place. That's why I feel like, just because things look a certain way in that moment, it's like never negate the fact that it could change it at a drop of a dime. Like, yeah, did I see that all just fall into place like that? Not at all. Like, even making the video where I was saying, like, appreciate those moments, because it's just like I said, I didn't even realize I even had my favorite breakfast. It's kind of like Shane orchestrated, the whole thing. It's just like, she loves, that's her favorite breakfast. Go for McGriddles, sit there and get like a hanging plant. She loves flowers. That's what, she takes care of the flowers all, through the season until, the season's over. You know what I mean? It's just, she loves the beach. Let's take her to the beach. You know what I mean? It was just beautiful. You know what I mean? It's just, what more can you ask for, Whomever. It's just like, be thankful. I always thank Yahweh and Yeshua, but my dad, Shane, divine, our ancestors, it's just like, how beautiful is that? It just all just played out that way. It was so perfect. It was like, with the kids and everything. It's just, you see things. I've always been appreciative of life, but that's the way I love my life. It's just, I don't need no big shiny diamond ring, because, I was banging around in the dirt or something. Or when in the wintertime, I would do custom dolls and stuff. But, you know what I mean? It's just like, I'll get a tattoo or something so I can, do physical things and not worry about getting it caught on somewhere or breaking. And it was just, like, beautiful. You know what I mean? It's just, I couldn't ask for a better weekend, honestly. It was just really productive, and I love sharing that with you guys, because it's just like sometimes we don't realize what's going on around us. You know what I mean? Or it's just like, appreciating that moment. You know what I mean? Because we only live it once, and it's like, how, like I said, I filmed it, and I was just like, just because it looks like one way, it doesn't, and this has happened plenty of times in my life, even like last year. It's like, how are we going to make it through March? And I was blessed with a job interview, and they're like, can you do a Zoom interview? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, give me 15 minutes. I'm like, so I can, like, I'm like, this just all came out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, no problem. Like, called me out of nowhere. And I was just like, okay. So, ran a brush through my hair again, put my hair up, and threw some contacts on, did the best I could with 15 minutes with makeup. And, it was just like, okay, I'm ready, I was like figuring out Zoom, and it's just, he's like, if you don't get it, well, then we won't call you back. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So it was like 10 minutes after. I'm like, frig, like, this could have, like, been so different. You know what I mean? And then he's like, oh, I forgot to ask you for your number. And I'm like, oh, thank God, I thought I didn't get it. You know what I mean? And, like, it was like all these imperfections happened. Like, they were doing the renovations. I got a cold and this and that. And you know what I mean? But it's just like the chariot, you know what I mean? With determination, it happened. And I feel like that's where it's like, when we fight so much in life to have things happen, and when you have a sweet moment like this, it feels like a reward. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the universe heard you, like the universe heard me. It's like, oh, I can't get my plans, and then they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of this. Everything will fall into place. She'll ask you to do this, and then you guys will go for breakfast, and it was just perfect. It was beautiful. You know what I mean? You don't need elaborate things, like, you know what I mean? It's just like simple pleasures, like, like even my kids, they're like, what do you want for Mother's Day? The fact that they were with for their grandmother. I didn't even have to say a word, but she could feel that their presence was there. Like, one was laying on her, like he had his head on her, like, kind of like, I don't know what to do in this moment or say, but I'm right here if you need me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is the biggest support system. It's like we don't know what to do in this moment, but we're here. We don't know what to say, like, but we're here. You know what I mean? Like, what do you need? You know? So, I don't know. I'm just grateful for it. And I feel like, be grateful. And I definitely feel like this is what it is. Like, I'm going to post that card, though, that I saw. That post that I saw. It's not a card, it's a post. It's like, we can concentrate on all the crud that happens in our life, or we can sit there and be like, yeah, crud happens. My dad would say that all the time. Shit happens, you know what I mean? Oh, excuse my language, but you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, when that poop happens, it's a learning lesson, but some are harder than others. They're showing like falling and scraping your knee, and it's like we learn. They're showing someone in skates and they fall in like roller skates and they skid their knee. And it's like, well, I should have put knee pads on. I feel like you're an older person. It's like a nostalgia. But I feel like that's what they're saying here, The definitions, especially the Three of Cups, is a little different, but honestly, I feel like with determination and dedication, it's like we'll have more of those moments, Like that's like what we want in life. So the Chariot, strong will, holding things together, possibly a determination to free oneself from what seems to a dead end, possibly through inventiveness or trickery. The Six of Wands, triumph, beware of tricks or a rigged game. And that's the thing, it's like that's where I get that back and forth. It's like, okay, like, it's nice right now, but it's just like, they're gonna do something. Like, I was literally talking to someone a couple weeks ago, and they're like, do you guys think your relationship is changing? I'm like, I hope so. Like, that's like all I've ever wanted, to have this like healthy bond. But it's just like, it's never bueno, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, so it's just like accepting it for what it is. And literally, like, they crapped on my head, and I'm just like, oh, well, that was short lived, you know what I mean? But it's like, like they said, be grateful for the blessings when they come in, especially when it's like back and forth, you know what I mean? Kind of get whiplash. Choice, a sense of adventure and longing for the unknown versus security and control over one small world. And I feel like that's where it's like we hang on to things longer than we should because we're fearful of the unknown. You know what I mean? And it's like the universe is like, you've outgrown this situation. Time to move forward. Time to move. There's more for you to learn. There's more for you to experience. This is not my definition. So, celebration, joy, ritual. Love that. Possibly stumbling on a dangerous secret or conspiracy. A modern interpretation suggests possible three-way relationship. I don't see the Three of Wands as that. Three-way relationship, I feel more is, like with the Five of Wands. You know what I mean? But, not my definition book. It's theirs. So, maybe that resonates with someone. That's why I always read the definitions. I'm like, As long as you're consenting and nobody's getting hurt in it, why not? So moderation, balance, harmony. Healing. I feel like in that situation, like I'm talking about, is the healing that needs to take place here. And I don't know if we'll ever reach that point, but trying. Including medicine, whatever sorry. Whether herbal, prescription. My mom cleaned her car out today, and now it's just my allergies are insane. I have to take an allergy pill. But I feel like, in my situation where like a healing is taking place, maybe this is like they're saying you're in control of your life and you're making a decision. Maybe someone stepped out on you, and it's like, it's your choice if you want to mend this, or do you want to be just like, you know what? I've learned what I can from this. I'm not repeating history. Boom. The Magician. What is real and what is illusion? And I feel like that's where it's like, count your blessings. It's like, yeah, I could sit there like, is this real or is this an illusion? I could tear it apart. I could go down that rabbit hole, or I could just sit there and gush like I have been for this probably entire video. And 5 minutes is the tarot reading. It's like, the fact that things fell into place. Like, you know what I mean? Like, certain songs come on the radio, and I feel like it's like, cutting to Shane sending a message, or, like me and him would drive home after work. We were watching his parents' place, and He would play Neil Young on the way home, and it's just like Neil Young songs will come on, and it's just like, just takes me back to him. You know what I mean? So it's just like his sign of like coming through, and I know that's my dad's genre as well. That's why I mean it's just like I could pick this apart and make this into a negative situation and poo poo all over it. Or I could sit there and say, you know what, even though poo poo things have happened and poo poo things have been said, it's just like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this moment. Where is your power? What magic can you perform in your life right now? As one thing leaves, another thing comes in. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of change has happened, and it's just like bloody hell. Like, can I, like, get some rest and rejuvenation here so I can kind of catch up and digest all that has happened? But I feel like it's like that's what retrograde does. It kind of speeds things up because it's like, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And it's like, now we're going to kind of process it all. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where that decision comes in. This choice comes in. You know, that's why I feel like temperance is here and they're highlighting the crown chakra, your higher levels of thinking. You know? So, Nine of Cups, satisfaction, success, smugness. The three S's, someone powerful and frightening. Nightmares. A fortune telling tradition says the Nine of Cups appears when you're any it appears anywhere in your reading, your wishes are granted. And I feel like, this is where the choice is. It's like, yeah, I wish our relationship was like this all the time. All the time. But I know that it's not possible. Because as many times as I tried to make this happen before, there's always something. That snake, that shadow side, whatever it is, comes out. You know what I mean? But that's where it's just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to appreciate this moment. It's a lovely moment. You know what I mean? And I'm going to enjoy all the blessings and all the kindness and miracles, and you know what I mean? Like, I hate to say miracle because I feel like miracles are for, like, I don't know, those really special moments. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you have no idea what's gonna happen, and it's just like everything just fell into place. Even though this happened, it's like it kind of reminds me of the song Dayenu. I always play it every single Shabbat. It's like, God could have only did this, just like kind of like what happened this weekend. I could have only went out for breakfast this weekend, but I was able to get my plants, Dayenu. Meaning very thankful. I could have, you know, um, rested the rest of Friday after putting everything away, but I was able to, get the plants out and get the deck looking nice, Dayenu. You know, um, going to the beach twice this weekend, like Dayenu, like it's like grateful for those moments. It's I feel like those are the sweet moments that life is all worth savoring. I feel like everything I ever could have imagined a weekend being, like spending time with the kids and everything, like I don't know, man. Everyone is built different, but for me, I am definitely grateful for that because I couldn't ask for anything better. And I feel like it's like appreciate every moment. Even if you get a handmade card from your child or from your husband or your partner or however you're celebrating this weekend, it's just be grateful for that moment because you're never going to live it again. You know what I mean? It's just, you can only poop on someone so many times before they're just like, I'm sick of eating this poop sandwich. You know what I mean? And they're going to stop trying altogether. You know what I mean? So I don't care how big or how small, it's like be grateful for every single moment. Like, you know what I mean? That's where I feel like, Shabbat comes in and it's like, it's such a great reminder. It's like God, Yahweh, Yeshua could only did this, universe, divine creator, but they did also this. And also, you know what I mean? Where they were saying blessing after blessing after blessing. You know what I mean? Like how perfect this weekend was. Wasn't planned or anything. It was just a whim. Everything was so spontaneous. It just happened. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I didn't even think we were going to go walking today because we had a storm at like 3 o'clock. And it was getting really cold quick. And I'm just like, well, we might not go. And she's like, come on, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. So it's just, I even thought we were only going to go to the track because it was getting so cold. Do a quick, walk around and be done. It's like, be grateful, honestly. It's so easy to go down that road of pooping on things. and not just live in the moment, be grateful for things. That's where it's like, perspective. You really got to be open to those things. What did I post? What was the last card that I posted before Shabbat started? Signs. Everywhere a sign. It's like, like I said, dare I say we would be rewarded for this? Is that my reward? Such a perfect weekend in my eyes, going to do my favorite people, places, and things. You know what I mean? It's just, what a blessing. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you weren't able to celebrate this weekend, maybe it's a rain check for the next weekend. Maybe you celebrated the weekend before. It's still, you know what? Either way, it's still, being honored, celebration, loved. Either way. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Monday, May 15th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. Have a safe and happy Mother's Day. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.